Hello, this is my gamification showdown of Gimkit versus Blookit. Round 1, Privacy Policy.
Gimkit's privacy policy states that it has strong data security, that there is no sale of user data, that parental consent is required for students under 13 to create an account, that it is intended for school use. It is unclear whether data is shared with third parties. There is use of cookies, and there is limited data control options. In Blookit's privacy policy, it states that there is minimal data collection. However, it does not state whether or not information is secured. There is no sale of user data. It states that parental consent is required for students under 13 to create an account. It is intended for school use. It is unclear whether there is third-party data sharing. There is use of tracking, and it is unclear what this tracking is for, and there is limited data control. Round 2, Appropriate age usage. According to Common Sense Media, Gimkit's target audience is grades 4 to 12. Students 13 and older can create an account, and students under 13 can create an account with an invitation from their teacher to join a class. This would, of course, be with parental consent. Blookit is said to be for the target ages of grades 1 to 8, and students who are 13 and older can create an account. Round 3, Device Compatibility. Gimkit has very comprehensive device compatibility. It is compatible with Windows 7 to 10, Mac OS, iOS 12 to 15, Android 8 to 11, Chromebook devices, interactive displays such as smartboards, and assistive technology, which includes braille displays and screen readers. Blookit is more vague on their compatibility with devices. It is compatible with smartphones and tablets running iOS or Android, desktop PCs, laptops, Chromebooks, and any device that can access a web browser. Round 4, Student Access. Gimkit activities can be accessed with a code. No students' accounts are needed to play. Accounts are needed for classes and for exps that can be used to purchase cosmetics. Blookit can also be joined with a code, and no student accounts are needed to play. An account is needed to access cosmetics, just like Gimkit. Round 5, Subject Area Usage. Gimkit and Blookit both work well for any subject. This does depend, however, on the subject matter and the ability to have closed-ended questions. I find that both work well for any questions that you could use in a flashcard context. So, a question and one single answer. Next, we're going to take a look at the gameplay and the landing screens for both sites. Here we have the landing screens for both Gimkit and Blookit, with Gimkit on the left and Blookit on the right. Here you can see my study sets for Gimkit. I've created 4, and you can see that the 2 main options for each are to play live and to assign homework. To the right of these 2 buttons, you can find a 3-dot button that has additional options. Blookit study sets are presented in blocks like this, where the options are presented in a picture form. Edit, delete, and under settings, we have some options here. We can also assign or host. So they are both similar in their function, but I find that Blookit is a bit more easy to access. Now let's take a look at Gimkit and its gameplay. So if we wanted to play Gimkit live, you can see that there are several game options to be able to play with a class live. I will say, however, that these are mostly paid games. So at the top here, these featured games are the ones that would be available to someone with a free Gimkit account. I currently have a free trial, which allows me to access some paid content. Under Assign Homework, we can select one of these four games. It is worth mentioning that homework in general is a paid feature, and if you don't have a paid account, playing live is the only option. For today, we're going to use Assign Homework so that I can show you what gameplay looks like. Before assigning for homework, there are several game options that we can select from and edit. One that I like is to use a question goal. So for students that are not as motivated by gameplay, this allows them to answer a certain amount of questions correctly to complete the assignment. So for your students, if you provide them with this link, all they need to do is paste it into their browser and they will gain access. It tells us a little assignment objective here at the bottom. Earn $150 or answer 30 questions correctly.
On the landing page of this game, it gives some general instructions on how to play. So we have grow crops, gather water, conduct research, sell crops for cash, and work together. So if I go back down to assignment info and start the assignment, then it will get us going in the gritty of this specific game, as Gimkit has several games that you can choose from. However, I did want to go over the common factor in many of these games, which is having a renewable resource that you renew by answering questions. So in this specific game, that resource is energy. So energy is used for planting crops, which can be planted in the farming plot. It can be used for researching in the research lab, and it can be used for gathering water. As you can see, I currently have a little bit under 2,000 energy points right now, so I'm going to answer some questions to get more energy so that I can collect some water from the well. And as you can see, when you get an incorrect answer, it just gives you the correct answer and gives you the option to move on. To close a document, Alt 4. Okay, we'll do one more. To copy, Control C. Oh, well, I guess we'll do one more. Okay, close. And then we will collect this water. And if we go to plant a seed, we have to collect one, then we can go to plant it. And as you can see, we use the resources like the seed itself, energy, and water. Once you plant it, it will grow. You can collect it, and then you're able to sell it. And as you can see, my energy has gone down by quite a bit. So if I wanted to go and collect more water, I would not be able to do that because I need 5,000 energy. So I would need to answer more questions. That's the main gist of Gimkit's game here specifically. And like I said, that renewable resource and answering questions to gain more points of that renewable resource is something that's present in a lot of the Gimkit games. Overall, I do enjoy Gimkit. I think that the gameplay is good. I think that it is more of a review tool than something to use to teach new concepts, as students are basically just answering multiple choice questions to get points. But other than that, I do wish that there were more features that were available in the unpaid version, such as assigning homework, I think would be a good feature to make available in the unpaid version. And I think it's unfortunate that many of the game types are not available. in the unpaid version. But overall, it's a good tool, and I know a lot of students like it, so it's always a good option.
Okay, so for Blookit, we're going to click on host. Now we have options here. We can assign homework, which we could have clicked the assign button earlier, or we can click the host option. As you can see, there's really only one paid option in this whole library of games. So we are going to select assign homework and cafe. So under each game, you can also get a quick description. So it describes the type of game that it is, the player limit, and how many players is suggested to play at a time. So I'm going to assign this as homework. And there are some options here, such as homework title, the amount of days that are allowed before the due date, um, and the one option that I do want to focus on is allowing or disallowing student accounts. For students who are under 13, disallowing student accounts will hide the create an account option. Okay, so again, we're going to just copy this link, very similar to um, Gimkit, where we'll just be pasting the link to complete homework. I'll enter a nickname and we'll begin our game. I'm going to select yes on this tutorial so that you can have a basic idea of how this gameplay works. Your cafe has a customer. He wants 2 pieces of toast. You have until that colored bar is empty to serve the customer. Fail to serve 3 customers in a day and your game is over. Toast usually goes here, but right now we don't have any. Luckily, we can restock our food by clicking this button. Go ahead and click it now. Usually, you'll have to answer a question correctly to restock your food, but we'll skip that for now. Go ahead and click again to get that second piece of toast. Now that we have 2 pieces of toast, we can click once to select them. Click it now. Perfect, you just made $2. After the day is over, you can use this cash to upgrade your cafe. You can tell how many customers are remaining in a day by that number in the top right of the header. Now it's time to open your cafe. Good luck! So, as you can see, to restock food, we're going to have to answer some questions. So once we answer a question, it will restock that food with 1 toast. Now we have 2 toasts, and we can give that to a customer. This is similar to Gimkit in that there is a resource that you need to renew by answering questions. I do feel that this gameplay and the access in general is a little bit simpler, hence the lower age range. However, there is also more free options available in Gimkit to students and teachers. And that was gameplay. Now we have round 7, final notes. Here is my scoreboard that I created between Gimkit and Blookit. For privacy, I felt that Gimkit was more transparent with their privacy policies and their ability to keep data safe. Blookit did not provide as much information in their privacy policy, and I think that they could benefit from sharing more information with their audience. For Gimkit, the age range is grades 4 to 12, so this would be older students. And for Blookit, it's grades 1 to 8, so it would be for younger students. However, I do feel that older students would find these games entertaining as well. They just aren't as complicated. For devices, Gimkit goes above and beyond for the availability on devices, and they state that they are available to accessibility tools and devices. For Blookit, they are available on many devices. However, it does not state whether or not it is accessible on accessibility devices or using accessibility tools. For access, Gimkit is a little bit more complicated to navigate, and in addition, many of the options are behind a paywall, so you wouldn't be able to assign homework or play many of the games if you weren't having a paid account. For Blookit, you have access to nearly everything on the website, and it's easy to access for students and teachers. For subject, both have a wide span over what types of subjects they could be used in. As I said before, you just need to have a question with one closed ended answer. For ease of use, again, I gave Gimkit a 4. It's just not quite as easy to navigate as Blookit is. Overall, for me, the winner is Blookit. I feel that it is easier to access, and even though the privacy policies are not as thorough as Gimkit, I feel that you can really get around this by not having students create accounts. Here are my references that I used for this slideshow. And the option to go to either site. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my showdown between those two sites. See you next time.